This is take 2 from this good podcast because we're podcasting professionals.
Yeah.
That's right. If you're listening to this right now, this is our second go round. Not because of anybody forgetting to hit record, but because we're perfectionists. I think we're perfectionists. And yeah. So what we were saying before we were so rudely interrupted by the lack of a record button was we put our podcast, obviously, on every streaming site, Spotify, every place you can listen to a beautiful podcast. But we also put our entire podcast audio only on YouTube. And there's a good, solid cross-section of people on YouTube in the comments that believe that we only have maybe a couple hundred people listening to each episode, maybe a couple thousand at most or something. That's a good summation of where we're at.
Yeah. We put every episode of the show on YouTube for SEO purposes. And
it's actually the biggest social media
search engine?
No, website, in the world. It's actually, I believe that YouTube, if you consider it a social media website, is the largest.
It's very much an anti-social media website, to quote Billy Joe Armstrong, I believe.
So anyways, we're going to read some YouTube comments tonight because we thought it would be really funny to, in the middle of the coronavirus, to sit pretty close to socially distanced away from each other and read some of your really, really intelligent comments that get left on YouTube. Which, if I had to say, I don't actually read Facebook comments at all. I don't really use Facebook.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible, especially now that we know everything we know about Facebook.
I guess it's where I go to get the most hilarious spectrum of comments from people. Obviously, email is the number one, but this would be, to me, YouTube comments. It's actually worth keeping everything, our entire podcast on YouTube, if for nothing else, it being a comment generating machine.
Yeah, it's really because of the mindset of people who listen to an audio podcast on YouTube. Something about it, I don't know. But so email is where people go when they're really mad at us and they need to sit down and write a lot of stuff about it. YouTube is just hot off the brain.
Yeah.
Fury.
Well, yeah, email, I feel like people actually, a lot of times put like actual time and effort into it. And so they write these long emails, multiple paragraphs.
Two hands.
YouTube is a lot of like, yeah, you know, fuck you, or like, you guys are idiots. I mean, I just think we should just ban people. If you say that we're idiots, we're going to ban you. Not because I'm offended by you calling us idiots, but because if that was the worst you could do, I feel like we should have a higher standard for what we allow on our YouTube comments.
Well, the other thing that's great about YouTube comment section is if you just leave all this shit on that website, as we have done for a couple years at this point, there is a voting mechanism. So we can look at the top comments. So sort of everyone else who's listening to the show and looking at the YouTube comments has already sorted this stuff for us.
Yeah.
Our Nickelback video is one of the most watched things on YouTube because it's our only actual video.
It is, yeah.
YouTube.
The biggest watched video of actual video. Our audio podcast.
It's kind of strange that what the top comment on this one is. I always imagined you guys sat around a table for some reason. LOL. Why is that funny?
Yeah. Well, also, like, what is the difference if we sit around a table or we sit on the couch? Like, it's just a weird thing.
But is this person listening to our podcast with their eyes closed, trying to visualize what we're doing at all times? Because, I mean, there have been some pretty hilarious physical comedy moments in this podcast that only you and I know about.
Yeah, I wish we had video from day one. I think our physical comedy is as good as our vocal comedy.
In the Smashing Pumpkins episode, I just about broke you with my vagina method acting.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
This person thinks that we record the show in one of our mother's basements.
Yeah. I like this one right here. Didn't realize they were real people.
What would we be then?
I don't know. We're just two AI robots being, I don't know. I have no idea what we would be.
There are a lot of people who think I don't realize I'm wearing a Godspeed You Black Emperor shirt in this video.
Yeah. Somebody got the fact that we released it on April 1st.
Someone says your hand is bigger than your head, dude.
Yeah, Mark's hand is bigger than his head.
Is that true?
I don't.
Man, you're lucky you're so far away. I would have done the middle school.
The Smash?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nickelback are like Tool meets Drake.
That is offensive.
That's not cool.
It's also not true. That's a very bad music algebra.
I mean, people know how we view Tool.
Oh, someone called us handsome.
Yeah, there was a couple I felt like I didn't realize these guys were so good looking or something. Thank you.
It's amazing how many people will write a lot of words on something that they have no idea what they're talking about. This one guy wrote, I assume it's a guy, of course Nickelback sucks. That's like saying a vacuum cleaner sucks. This one's a little obvious. I like it when you trash semi-popular overrated bands like Pink Floyd. There was a guy over at my house that is a Pink Floyd fan, and I played the video of you two trashing Pink Floyd. He got pissed, LOL. All right, first of all, we did not make a video where we trashed Pink Floyd. Again, that was audio content that you tortured your maybe friend with. I don't know. I'm going to assume that this person is like a drug dealer and someone came over to their house to buy some weed. And then they were like, dude, watch this. And made them stare at a computer screen, I guess, before they could get their quarter.
Pick up what they got. You have to watch this.
But also, the entire video is us saying that Nickelback does not suck.
That was the whole point. You obviously didn't listen to it, you dick. Also, I like this one. I have never heard a Nickelback song and hopefully won't. I don't believe that to be true. Genuinely don't believe you. I just don't think that's possible.
It's really not possible. They might not know that, but someone thinks that I was smoking pot in this video, and that was an asthma inhaler, I'll have you know.
We don't do drugs at all. It's not okay.
So we're going to go through these videos, and I think we're going to do it in respond to some comments in descending order of popularity. So I think that means these comments are all going to get noticeably worse or noticeably better the longer we go.
Sure.
I feel like all the comments on this Nickelback video were pretty lame.
You know, there was a bunch of people that obviously didn't listen to the episode. I mean, they just didn't. It's a lot of people that were like, Nickelback, I can't believe you jumped on Nickelback. Everyone knows Nickelback sucks. Well, obviously didn't listen or watch. You could have actually watched it. Which one are you doing next? Queen?
I'm going down to Queen. Yeah.
I'll go to Nirvana. Surely full of really great, awesome stuff. Oh, this is actually probably one of the most common things that gets posted on YouTube because nobody's going to email us. So who do you like then? What do you think are like? Yes, they like Nickelback is the response. Great answer.
So that is, we do get that comment on literally every single episode that we put out, but there are some episodes where, so the most recent episodes that we've released as of the recording of this video is the trilogy on Aerosmith. And it has blown my mind how many people have left that exact comment on the Aerosmith video. Yeah. Oh yeah, well, if you don't like Aerosmith, then what do you like?
Yeah. There's definitely one of those comments on every single video that we have. Every single one. The thing is, if you actually listened to the podcast, you probably know.
Yeah, we like Aerosmith.
We talk about bands that we like. It like sprinkled in there. I'd much rather listen to Hanson. Okay.
Than us or than Nirvana?
Than Nirvana. Why? So Alice in Chains comes up a lot. A lot.
People are saying they're better than Nirvana?
No, if you diss Alice in Chains, I will find you and then tell you to reconsider.
Okay, well, get ready to find me and tell me to reconsider because Alice in Chains is some of the most depressing music ever recorded. I can't imagine just sitting around and listening to that for any length of time.
So many comments about Alice in Chains. Is this satire?
So wait, no, I like this one too, because this means that this person thinks that you and I have spent all this time saying a bunch of stuff we don't really mean and that we pretend to think, and that the only thing it's going to take for us to come clean is for someone to ask us if we mean everything we say.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Also, it's you're fucked because this person thinks that either we must mean everything we say or nothing that we say.
Yeah.
But what if it's sometimes serious and sometimes not, and there's no way to know?
Good luck figuring it out.
Would that make us good at this job? I feel like that might make us good at this job.
I think it makes us professionals.
I think so.
I think it makes us professionals.
I'm just going to treat all of these comments like they're from the same person from now on.
You guys just pulled in some famous band and talk shit about them, hoping to get more views. You suck.
Yeah, that's never going to work. That person's never going to watch the video and leave a comment on it. We should just totally throw this whole idea in the trash.
Wait, so Rape Me wasn't on Bleach, and it was about a girl getting raped over and over by her friend that she's heard done it before. If you're going to make a video, at least know the facts.
Man, it's so sad when someone's grammar... I'm not even that much of a grammar Nazi, but when someone cannot even communicate whatever it is that they're trying to say, why are you talking?
Yeah. This guy left "do disturbed" twice.
That would be a really fun episode to do. Yeah. I bet I've made that sound on at least 4 episodes of this show.
Dude. That song is definitely a song that's so big and so ingrained in your brain somewhere that you for sure, if it came on in wherever you were, you would definitely go, wah! Everything changes. I mean, I will say about Disturb is that guy really has stuck with that image.
Yeah.
Still. I mean, the fact that he still rocks that goofy ass, like
the door knocker thing.
Yes. Holy wow. That's dedication.
I don't think I've heard a single other Disturbed song other than
oh my god,
Get Down with the
they
Sickness.
covered The Sound of Silence.
That's funny.
Oh no.
Dude, speaking of which,
that's too much.
Did you listen to Nickelback's cover of Devil Went Down to Georgia? And how much better than the original is it?
Way better. And it's tough because you don't want to say it because it was a travesty past. But you just got to speak the truth when you hear it. Whoa, dude, this guy said we were a fucking bitch.
Just one?
That was his comment. Fucking bitch.
You're a fucking bitch.
I don't know who that was.
Are you still on? Are you still on the Nirvana episode?
Yes. I don't know who he was talking to though. Nirvana Unplugged still fucking rips.
No, it does not.
Certainly does not.
Seriously listen to the original recording of every song that is a cover. Also go listen to every Meat Puppets album, because you're saying Nirvana Unplugged specifically is what rips, and those versions of those songs are trash.
Yeah.
I know that the nostalgia thing is a factor here and whatever, but first of all, acoustic guitars sound fucking terrible.
If you really could create a situation where you could remove the nostalgia factor and just let someone listen to it without a time of their life attached to it, how many of these comments just wouldn't exist?
Well, it's something unpredictable, but in the end, it's right.
Right. Radio has a better sound than Nirvana. That's a pretty low bar.
Radiohead?
That's what he said.
Those things are not comparable.
I respect your views. However, I'm still a Nirvana fan.
Good for you, sir.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Nirvana is definitely a good band.
See, this is what I mean about YouTube comments, though. When someone writes us an email, they're fucking mad. And they're mad enough to sit down and think about it and use both their hands. These people are just firing off low effort bullshit. And then other people with their thumbs are hitting thumbs up. And it's the only reason it's coming on your radar. Mm-hmm. This is a very low quality filter that you have to pass to even get acknowledged right now. I'm not about it. I think people should have to try a lot harder.
See, but then this guy, it's this person's name on here. I don't know if this is a guy or a girl. Their name on YouTube, which is Kurt's Memoria. They commented 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. And one is just says, "You're weird and weird." Okay. And then they said, "You're the weird person who doesn't like Nirvana." Okay. And then the next comment was, "You're the weird person and who doesn't like Nirvana." Okay. Nirvana never did nothing to you. Why are you talking crap about them? You're mean. Like run-on sentence, no.
So this sounds like a woman who remarried and her child is in the house and the stepdad is mean to the kid and the kid is named Nirvana. And she's like, "Nirvana never did nothing to you, Buford. Why are you so mean to Nirvana?
Be nice to Nirvana. He's so good. He's a good kid.
Maybe you're the weird one." Maybe we are the assholes.
All right, you doing Queen? What you got for Queen?
Okay.
I'm sure these are very highbrow.
The Queen video has almost 800 comments on it. I don't know if you know that.
700. It has, oh no. It has more dislike than it does likes.
Yeah, that's
what a bunch of bullshit.
Because someone's like, why do these videos have so many downvotes? The podcast is literally about hating on popular bands. Sir, thank you for getting the concept. Oh shit. Getting served an ad. Am I making us money right now by watching this ad?
I think so. Yes.
Tight.
We just made like 1 penny.
Is this fraud of some kind?
Probably.
It's fair to say that Limp Bizkit broke more boundaries musically than Queen. I feel like that's a statement that may come across as controversial for some reason that I don't understand.
Sure.
Because that is a fact. Well, here's the thing.
So yeah, I mean, if you don't think that Limp Bizkit was more original than Queen, then you just have not been paying attention.
I just think they haven't listened to enough Limp Bizkit. I think they just think, oh, everyone around me is like, oh, fuck Limp Bizkit. They're not cool. He wears a red hat and it's backwards.
I think they're judging it based on appearances. He's got a puffy vest and a red hat. It reminds them of a jock, maybe a little bit, the Yankees cap. They think, oh, this guy's a tough guy jock or something like that.
This guy is probably the guy that beat me up in high school.
Brett Durst is pretty sensitive. I mean, he's got a Kurt Cobain tattoo, so.
Yeah. Your favorite podcasters clearly want to suck each other.
Whoa.
You know who posted this? Oh my God. Dude, look. Jesus Christ posted it.
He's changed, I guess.
Wow.
So there are a lot of comments on the Queen video from people who are calling out Queen fans for their toxic behavior in the comments. Which, I mean, I don't know. It kind of feels weird to be defended on the show. I'm not used to that. Normally,
it's kind of funny.
Normally we're getting attacked. Maybe we would have to scroll really far down to see some of these toxic comments that people are talking about. But I guess this is probably to be expected because any band that's had a major studio picture made about them is going to attract all the wrong people for all the wrong reasons. And people who adopt a new favorite band because a movie was made about them.
Right. Man, if you think about it, Queen has had this multiple times in their career now. So Queen exists as a band, and then Wayne's World comes out.
We talk about that in the episode.
Yeah, it like launches the band straight back up, and then it does its thing back down. And then the movie comes out. Straight back to the fucking moon with a whole nother generation of people that are in our fucking YouTube comments calling us names.
Loved your riffing on Limp Bizkit and how they compare with Queen. I immediately thought about how Limp Bizkit are often savaged while their contemporaries in Deftones are put on a pedestal. Too long, didn't read. Please do an episode on Deftones. Yeah, the Deftones are a pretty terrible band. What they're doing, I understand what all of the influences are, and I guess I could see how it would work for anyone who's not aware of all the individual things that are going into that blender. But and then also just like the pure sonic aesthetics of it, I also understand. I mean, What's His Nuts uses only TC Electronics effects, and those are just top shelf sound quality wise. Everything sounds amazing. The kick drum sound is perfect. I wish that a producer like DJ Khaled would sample that kick drum and then go put it in a good song or something. That would be helpful, I think.
Yeah, DJ Khaled, man, he could turn some shit into wine. That's for sure. I mean, so what it would be is you would just take a droning guitar sound, add a lot of like, right.
You would expect me to change the note here, but I'm not
Right. Like, atmospheric singing sounds underneath it, and it builds, and then it gets heavy, and then there's screaming.
The other thing that's really funny about Deftones is Chino cannot sing. And when you say that to a Deftones fan, they'll try to talk to you about this magical 6-month period at one point in 2001 where he could sing or something. I don't know. Yeah.
You obviously didn't listen to the band for this period of time.
He was really good
You
on
dumb
the first
shit.
half of this tour.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this, but there was a time when White Pony was out that he could actually sing, and you're an idiot if you didn't pay attention to it then.
Beatles.
Oh, dude, I'm already there.
Okay, cool.
Dude, this guy, another person who left 5 comments in a row, said, "Get a job, bastards."
This is one of my jobs.
This is our job. This is all I do. This is literally my entire job. Is that another ad?
Yeah, I forgot to turn the volume down. It'll be okay. But I think we're going to make like 35 cents just filming this episode.
Awesome. What music do you like then? Billie Eilish? Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, I mean, she's great, dude. Helter Skelter's lyrics have nothing to do with inspiring murderers. The song is about a slide.
Yeah, a slide into murder.
Right.
It's great to know that you think you wouldn't have been able to have been talked into murdering someone by Charles Manson. But you also listen to the Beatles, so I'm not so sure that that's accurate, man.
With your argument is that it's about a slide. That's also equally as bad.
Yeah, it should.
That's equally as dumb. If actually maybe worse.
Murder would be better.
It's each a better story to say that it inspired murder. People go, oh, wow, really? Wow, that's fucked up. Instead, it's inspired by a slide. Okay, great.
On the Tool episode, someone said Tool fans are like Apple consumers.
Well, this is the last comment this guy put was, the Beatles have given us nothing of value as far as music is concerned. That's what we said.
Yeah, don't copy me.
He said, in quotes, he said that, right?
Okay.
And then he just said, fuck you. Dude, Tame Impala sucks. Okay, fucking A. Jesus Christ. So many people. I've never heard a Tame Impala song.
I've never heard one, but I know they're a bad band. I can just tell.
Well, yes, of course.
Yeah. I know exactly what it is. I can tell from the way that dude's hair looks and the lighting in the pictures that I've seen of their shows that it's some soft pedaled, most mainstream possible version of what you think is psychedelic music because you have never made it through a Silver Apples album from beginning to end.
Yeah, it's add atmospheric guitar and pretty singing over it, I think is the whole thing, right? You probably dress exactly like what I would expect you to dress like and listen to everything that Pitchfork tells you is good.
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say that Tame Impala is fish for people who took a shower before the concert because they hope to get laid.
Yeah, that's actually great. It's like Fish fans that don't want to do drugs or something.
It's like a Filet-O-Fit.
I'll smoke weed on occasion and listen to Tame Impala, but I don't do acid or mushrooms or hard drugs. You know what I mean? Where Fish fans are like gulping acid straight out of the vial. Tame Impala fans are a little bit cleaner than that. I don't know. Anyway, who cares? I'm not fucking doing a Tame Impala episode. Who cares?
A lot of these comments on the Tool episode are just people pulling quotes
from what we said.
Yeah, they're just copying us. It's a lot of fans who think that they're not one of the bad ones. Like we said, yeah. Every Tool fan thinks they're not one of the bad ones.
I love the idea of somebody listening to that episode and then going, I love Tool, but I'm not like that.
There are a lot of people who are acknowledging that there's this person. I'm a little older now. Tool actually is my favorite band. This is really good. I was kind of that dude they talk about. Listening to this is like listening to your own voice recorded. Quote, every Tool fan thinks they're not one of the bad ones.
This is also another, I feel like, common theme in the repudiation of what we say. It says, this man's...
Yeah, that's internet talk.
Right. This man's saying Beatles are bad, but he hasn't done anything huge in his life. This is a super, super, super common. Is people would say, I guarantee these two idiots have never written a song. They've never played a guitar. They can't do what this person is doing, and therefore they're idiots and their opinion is bad or whatever. This is the thing. These are the same people that have opinions about movies and for sure have never made a fucking movie.
Cheeseburgers. Like, are you the best cheeseburger maker in the world? Yeah, you could probably fucking make one, but do you have opinions about all the cheeseburgers that you eat?
You haven't eaten every cheeseburger. You don't know how to make every possible cheeseburger. I mean, everyone has opinions about this stuff for a lot of things that they haven't done.
But these are also the people who tell artists to shut up and sing whenever they express political opinion, as if because someone has chosen to pursue a career in music, their opinion about anything is somehow less valid than some asshole on the internet telling them to shut up, who definitely throws their political opinions all over the place. Mm-hmm. But also, I would take the opinion and advice and perspective of anyone who has traveled as much as a touring musician over some motherfucker who's gonna die not having ever gone 10 miles away from where he was born.
True.
People who have traveled and toured and seen the world and talked to others in other cultures know so much more than idiots on the internet.
Yeah. definitely.
It's just people who think their opinions matter more than everyone else's opinions, which is literally the reason why we started this show. Because fuck you.
Yeah. You know whose opinion matters?
Ours. I also love when everyone's like, who made y'all in charge of saying what's good? We did, dude. We got microphones and we started doing this shit. You are more than welcome to try. Go ahead.
You want to make a podcast about how great the Beatles are? A, I'll never fucking listen to it. And B, you're an idiot. This sounds so dumb. Anyways, go ahead. What you got?
Well, I'm still in the Tool episode, but I kind of want to get to the Led Zeppelin comments and the Metallica ones because I bet those are very funny.
This guy said deleting comments, are we? I see we're cowards.
I don't ever delete a comment. Never once.
Only time I delete comments is there's two things. If it's openly just racist, which is we typically don't see that.
But YouTube, doesn't YouTube even allow that anymore?
No, fuck no. They get rid of that shit too, or people report it. But if you post homophobic shit too, I'm deleting it. I don't care.
Yeah, your opinion doesn't matter. If you're a racist or a homophobic or transphobic or any kind of bullshit like that, your opinion literally could not matter less to either one of us. And I'm not sorry.
And this isn't like it's a fucking music podcast, dude. Like
we're never even talking about those
you
topics.
don't need to drop the F word in the fucking comments. Like it's not funny and I don't care.
Someone said after Tool new album came out, they went back and listened to our Tool episode, which was released before the new album came out, and it all just still applied. Mm-hmm. They called it evergreen, which I always want to make our episodes be evergreen so that they will still apply, even if we're not specifically addressing things. We always talk about it, but if things get back to some sense of normalcy and we're able to move forward with all the plans we have for this thing and we get a place where we can record and just sit down and everything is ready to go. We don't have to set up in some makeshift area like your mom's basement. I mean, the studio space that we're borrowing from our friend right now. It would be really cool to go back and do discographies of at least the biggest bands like the Beatles. I think Nirvana's discography would be really good to do just because of how different everything is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sit down and talk about every album from some band who made the same album over and over again. Right. Like the Beatles often did.
Sure. Yeah, because you could almost do like, well, these two albums are basically
eras of Beatles.
Well, this is, I would say, people accused us of dragging out episodes. First of all, we could do an entire season on Aerosmith. And the reason we broke it into 3 episodes is so that we didn't have just basically 3 hours.
Yeah, that's
I think we actually recorded. It was like 4 hours.
We did record at least 3 hour episode.
And it gets cut down and it makes more sense to release it into 3 episodes. But that's also kind of what bands do sometimes.
Absolutely.
Is they go to the studio and record like 30 songs.
That's what Kid A is, or an Amnesiac is recorded at the same time, I think.
Yeah. So it would be fun to do, to what you're saying, is to do discographies. But it's not fun to do.
The band episodes need to be an overview, and there's no way we could cover everything that there is to cover, at least on legacy bands who have been around since before the 90s. You just can't do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Rolling Stones one, that was a hard episode to do the way that we did it because they don't put out albums anymore, but they put out a lot of albums while they were putting shit out, and they changed it up. I mean, just going from fake blues band to the more dirty heroin blues band to the disco and then straight up pop shit. And there's so many albums in each one of those eras.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, there's no way we could have covered the Beatles solo careers, all of them.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, and even Led Zeppelin in that way with like writing the whole spectrum of like with 1, 2, 3, and 4, there's so many different genres on there. I guess you really could, just do an entire episode, on each separate one.
All right, are we going to go to Led Zeppelin and Metallica?
Yeah, I'm on Metallica.
Well, are you going to look at both part 1 and part 2?
I need to redo like.
P.S. It's pretty awesome that every time I search one of these band names and then the word sucks, we are always the first thing that comes up. I really love that. And I love how easy it is to find our podcast for people who are trying to find this view on every band. They get that someone is out there that thinks the same way they do.
Yeah. I would say that's actually one of my favorite actual comments that we get. And we do get this also a lot.
I thought I was alone.
Yes. So many people are like, my friends, like my close friends have messaged me when we do episodes on certain bands and they're like, dude, I thought legitimately I was the only person who thought that Led Zeppelin was trash. Oh my God. So relieving that you're saying everything that I've always said and everyone thought I was an idiot.
And everyone who thinks that this podcast is just an exercise in negativity, you don't need another podcast telling you that all your opinions are good and it's great that you think this band is the best band in the world. But someone who's traumatized every time they hear a song by Sublime because you can do your own math on how that situation would arise, that person needs to hear someone sit down and say all the reasons why Sublime is a terrible band. It's more valuable to provide this for that person than it is to provide a fucking Beatles fan with one more thing saying that the Beatles are the best band. And if you don't think that, you're an asshole. Fuck you.
I mean, if we really wanted to, we could actually go through all of these bands' insane personal lives and all the fucked up shit that they've been accused of. We typically don't. You know what I mean? Like we really do.
That's another really good point. Think about how many people have been abused by the actual people in the actual bands we're talking about.
We really genuinely, I think, keep it about the music as much, quite a bit. We don't actually drag up every nitty gritty thing that all these people have been accused of.
And it's the Pantera episode problem is because apparently everyone who listens to this stuff and doesn't have a problem with all that stuff is fine with all that stuff. But if we can say a bunch of shit about the thing that they think is unimpeachable and is beyond criticism, which is just the music, that's going to stick. The next time they try to listen to that shit, they are not going to be able to forget that we said that stuff.
Yeah.
Because they can apparently forget all the things that the person did,
right,
you know, to listen to it. But try forgetting what you heard in the episode.
Yeah.
And if you can't still listen to it, maybe you don't really like that band.
Maybe we jar something loose in their brain. You know what I mean? Where it's like they've just held on to it and we've just poked a hole or.
All right. Are you on Metallica?
Yeah. This guy just admitted, and I think comments like this are good. Well, all of my favorite bands suck now. That's true.
You were right.
That's true.
Welcome to our world.
His name is Tyler.
I actually wrote that. I did write that.
Your name is Tyler Wooten on YouTube? Oh, man. The imitation of James Hetfield is hilarious. Thank you. I think we're funny people.
It is really fun to imitate James Hetfield, though. He's a good
girl. Metallica is an awesome band name. End of. I don't know what that is. Okay. What about this? You guys like One? Try listening.
The song One?
I guess you guys like One.
Oh yeah, because we yeah, we did that part.
Yeah, that was funny. You guys like One? Try listening. This is so hard because people don't. I guess maybe they're just so either really wanting to get out what they're saying so aggressively. It just says, try listening Darkness Descends by Dark Angel. No.
Yeah,
A,
no.
I'm not doing that. And B, take 1 second and read what you typed.
I'm going to tell you why we're not going to listen to that song is because that band sat down and decided to name themselves Dark Angel, okay?
Yeah. Heavy metal bands, just think of like, it really is what seems like stoned teenagers sitting around and trying to think of like the scariest words. So they like write down on a piece of paper, like, you know, okay, wait. I got it. What is good? So angels are good, but what if it's an evil one?
All right, you want to hear some cool fucking metal? Look up the band The Angelic Process. It's even got the word angel in it. Check that out.
We only listen to Behemoth in my house. Couldn't agree more with these guys. Thanks, Alan. You're sweet. Oh, wait. See, so here it is again. I swear to God, can you upload your own music? Would love to see what these two badasses got. LOL. That, I mean, I already made the point, but that is just really is such a common theme.
It's another reason why this podcast is so necessary because people who don't know dick about music think musicians are up on this Mount Olympus status of superhuman ability, and it's just not the case. There hasn't been a virtuoso musician covered on this podcast, not fucking one.
No, not even close.
I'm on Led Zeppelin. This guy left a comment. I've seen 10-year-olds play Bach flawlessly on guitar. By your reasoning, Bach sucked. Yes, dude. Yes, that is what I'm saying. I'm saying that classical music is not some impossible thing to do. The reason a 10-year-old can do it is because it's not superhuman.
Yeah. This is actually one of my favorite things to do in my downtime when I don't smoke marijuana because I don't want to die from it, is finding like kids playing like the complicated, rock songs, the unplayable things.
These kids are not born X-Men. They're not. It's so stupid. And also, this is the reason why musicians get away with terrible behavior, is because idiots think that they are doing something that no one else can do. And there's some sort of like shithead tax that everyone has to pay to enjoy this great music. That is not the case.
Shithead tax. We should turn that into a sticker. Lou Reed asked Metallica to play with them. Yeah, it sucked, but they got to play with a legend, and Metallica always plays well, and you fools don't see any bands lasting almost 40 years now. Still selling, so it seems you have no idea of music, so you're lost, but I'm still enjoying them. A, that had not one piece of punctuation, and it was just a giant run-on sentence. And B, that's the excuse.
There was a lot going on in that comment, man.
Well, the excuse for doing...
The fact that Lou Reed asked them makes them great. Buddy, I want you to take 5 minutes and just sit down with a piece of paper and make a list of everything you think Lou Reed ever asked someone to do, okay? Because if you think that list doesn't have some wildly inappropriate things on it, and you think that every person he asked to do something is a legend at what they were doing, there's a lot to unpack in that comment.
Yeah, Lou Reed, I don't know if you know this, but he actually was not talking to anyone else at the time. The only band that he would do something with is Metallica. Probably one of the worst things in the history of music.
I don't think I went back and listened to it for that episode, but I would be willing to go back and listen to it.
I've only ever heard one song, and it's just so goddamn unbearable. Holy shit.
I wonder how that person feels about Metal Machine music.
This guy said he's kicked dogs all the time. That's not cool.
What?
That's not cool.
Don't listen to this podcast if you like kicking dogs, please.
This says right here, Lulu and Saint Anger are not full Metallica albums. Huh?
I love people tend to fixate on one thing that we said and treat that as if it's our entire argument. And then my other favorite thing that people do, and I think that people do this because they believe if someone maybe reads their comment before they press play on the episode, that they won't press play on the episode. But there are a lot of people who leave comments like, wow, these guys didn't even try to make a single point. Buddy, you have selective hearing. Every single episode of this podcast, except maybe the Elvis Costello one, because I truly was not going to subject myself to listening to Elvis Costello for that. So I think we just did that one from memory. Every episode of this podcast, if you sit down and write down what our points are, you will have a list of reasons why that band sucks. Just because you don't want to hear those things does not mean they're not true.
Yeah, 100%. I love this. We should almost make this into a t-shirt.
Are you still on Metallica?
Yeah, it's okay. What music do you like?
Slayer, right? That's what we said in that episode.
I give up. How come all of a sudden you got a lot of comments? Because people listen to the fucking podcast, you dick. What else?
I'm going to move on. The Zeppelin comments aren't good. It's just...
this is another one of those things. Metallica has sold 125 million albums. Metallica sells out every venue they play. False. Metallica got no radio airplay and no videos from their first 3 albums. Metallica's All Within. My Hands Foundation has donated millions to California and Australia wildfires plus other causes. Enough said. Well, I mean, it is cool that they donate to charity. That's great. I'm not going to downplay that. 2 out of the 3 things you said are false. And who gives a shit if they sold 125 million albums?
It's weird the bands that people project onto us as their imagined taste for us. So I went over to the Red Hot Chili Peppers Sucks episode, and someone thinks that because we don't like Red Hot Chili Peppers that we think Imagine Dragons is the best band ever. And that's really, really funny because Imagine Dragons is so exactly the Red Hot Chili Peppers of the 2010s or whatever they are.
Well, that's definitely the people.
It's the same exact
people
thing.
shit on Imagine Dragons, but unironically love the Red Hot Chili Peppers or something. It's okay, cool.
If you sent Imagine Dragons back in time, they would have been the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If you move the Red Hot Chili Peppers up in time, they would have been Imagine Dragons. They're the same thing. I realize it's like it doesn't sound the same. Their albums don't sound the same, but they're doing what they're doing because of how insanely commercial of an idea it is to do that thing.
Right.
Do you think that this is not a known marketable thing? It's the same version. It's the same thing as what's the store?
Spencer's Gifts.
The millennial
version of that,
where you buy record players that are bullshit. The Crosley.
Oh shit! Yes.
What's the store? Why can't I think of the store name?
Urban Outfitters.
Yes. Okay. So Urban Outfitters sees some T-shirt art that they like on the internet, and then just puts it on a different shirt, or like changes one thing, or removes some controversial aspect of it, and then they sell 10 million more copies of it. This is not an accident.
No. What? I guess I need to meet new people. I don't know anybody that's a huge Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. I want to meet the people that are actually Imagine Dragons fans, because I really do want to ask them, especially if they're of a certain age, do you love the Red Hot Chili Peppers, or fill in whatever generic band that they're just rubber stamping their way through the music business now? Imagine Dragons? Like, you really love Imagine Dragons? Does somebody actually out there? I just think of Imagine, it's like this band to play sports to. And maybe that's why I don't identify with it. I don't think you do, obviously, is we're not really big sports guys.
No.
I don't give a shit about sports at all. I don't follow any sports. And so maybe I just don't like Imagine Dragons because I don't like sports.
Whoa, sometimes people have really good jokes in our comments. They say that their dad called them Red Hot Silly Peckers. Can we get your dad on the show? Seriously.
Can we steal that and put that on a shirt?
If this person hears me say this, please get in touch with us. We would A, like to get your dad as a guest on the podcast, and B, probably make a t-shirt out of that.
That's a great t-shirt. We should do that. That's actually pretty funny.
Oh, here we go. Bassist here. Slap bass is what they're talking about. Slap takes a lot of precision to play well. No, it doesn't. Especially when you get into Victor Wooten techniques. Plus, it's fun as hell to play. Yeah, okay, so here's the problem, man. It's either takes a shitload of precision or it's fun.
It's not both.
It's not both.
It's not both. No, that's typically doesn't go hand in hand. Dude, Pink Floyd fans are pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
I could have told you that. They identify with Pink Floyd.
I hope you pricks are joking.
We're not.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Oh, we don't know music. This is like a really common thing, I feel like, with highbrow bands. I would say Pink Floyd, Radiohead. These are like really highbrow bands where it's like, I'm smart. I listen to Pink Floyd. Yeah. You don't like Pink Floyd because you don't get it.
It's music for assholes.
Yes. It's music for pretentious pricks.
Yeah.
So it's a very common comment would be, you don't know music.
Oh, someone called Nick Cave pretentious on the Red Hot Chili Peppers video. Nick Cave is not pretentious. Nick Cave is depressed.
Yeah. Much different. And who doesn't suck according to you? Justin Bieber?
Yeah, there you go. It's so strange, man, because what episode is that on?
Pink Floyd.
Okay. Pink Floyd's career is the same thing as latter era Beatles, where all you're looking at is a bunch of actually below average white guy musicians who have been given the keys to the candy store. They have all of the resources at their disposal, and what they made with it is fucking Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall. Mm-hmm. All right? If you gave any actually good band the run of Abbey Road Studios for however long those bands were able to just waste money in the studio, just fucking around with like setting up a analog synth patch to make the what is it, On the Run song or whatever it's called. I mean, dude, it's offensive that people think that just because it sounds so great because it was recorded in the best studio in England at the time. Yeah, dude, listen to every other album that was recorded in that same room in the 5-year period before and after that album, and sincerely tell me that Pink Floyd is the best thing that happened in that room. Come on.
If we took 3 people that we knew that were mildly good at their instruments and had written a song before and gave them a full year.
In-house engineers, producers, all the gear that's in there.
You have no job. That's your entire job.
And
is to make an album. You have unlimited resources, unlimited time, and you have a year. I guarantee you they're going to come out with something that people that love Pink Floyd are going to go, that's actually pretty good.
I'll go one better, dude. If we take any of the 10 to 12-year-old kids who just shred covers of all these so-called virtuoso bands on YouTube, put 5 of those kids in Abbey Road studio for a year. Don't make them do any other bullshit. Don't make them go to school or anything else. Just let them, at that age, go in there with all those resources. They're probably going to come out of there with something better than Pink Floyd did.
That's the thing that's funny, too, is they didn't come out with this ultra tight, squeaky clean album. It was like this weird bunch of noise, and they don't know how to end a song. So they have the woman singing that leads into the next song with noises. And I don't know how to start this song. It's a song about money. Oh, I got it. A cash register.
Yeah.
You fucking, that's it. That's the only you could think of is a cash register.
We're going to need to get an actual singer and some cash registers in here to make this album.
Dude, listen. If somebody said to me, it took them a week to record that register sound, I would 100% believe it.
Gross. I went to Weezer. The top comment on the Weezer video is that Rivers Cuomo's wife has given him permission to use Tinder. So I guess we were wrong. Weezer doesn't suck.
We should do another episode on Weezer because that shit's been insane.
I probably haven't seriously thought about Weezer since we did that episode. I was obviously pretty mad.
It was mostly you. I had a raging headache that night.
Yeah, you were sick.
Sitting, I was not feeling well that night. But you carried it, dude. I mean, you pissed off a lot of people. I think I got a lot of people messaging me after that episode saying, fuck Tyler.
Because I talked the whole time. Yeah.
Well, yeah. You talked a lot.
You were messed up that night. Yeah.
I was on it is like a severe migraine for some reason.
And it was raining really hard at that WeWork.
We were sitting in the corner office. It sounded like we were recording in a fucking tin can.
Yeah. We tried this bigger room, but it was an untreated bigger room.
It was literally like a box with nothing on it.
Was it like some real estate company or something? Man, recording. I don't know if everyone listening to this knows or watching, I guess, knows this, but we used to record this podcast in a WeWork. And if you've never been in a WeWork, they have no walls because entrepreneurs will molest the fuck out of their women employees if you don't make everything out of glass so everyone can see everything that happens in there. Usually around 2 p.m. or something, we would carry 40 ounces of beer in there and just be screaming about, the Doors or Kiss sucking while people are trying to sell houses or call magazines and push their PR music business clients and get music interviews and stuff. And we're just not respecting anything that's happening in this building at all. And so people could walk by and see us just basically being assholes in there the whole time. It was really, really fun. But then also the thing about WeWork is you can go in there at any time. So we would also just hustle in there late at night and do episodes sometimes.
They were late at night sometimes, in the middle of the day. I don't remember what episode. This is where I wish we had video because it would have been so funny to have a camera just not on us, but on The Office, because there was
I know what you're talking
a
about.
straight up like conference.
They were
video chatting or something.
They were filming a series of videos that were some sort of inspirational business, go get it, chase your dreams. And they were using the whiteboard and everything.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they had thought about what they were doing for a long time. And they got this room, they booked this room, and they were in there doing it. And meanwhile, we're over there. Maybe the Sublime episode or something like that seems right.
Possibly.
Just, again, screaming about music.
Our beer sitting out and like had just walked over to the market or whatever. I mean, it would have been so funny to have a static camera
Just on them.
Yeah,
they
were
happy
so
about it.
not happy.
They were not happy about it.
That was funny. That was a good time.
But yeah, we recorded the Weezer episode. It was pouring rain. Mark showed up, and I had beers for us and everything. He was like, I can't drink. Like, I have a bitch of a headache.
Oh, it was fucked up. Yeah. But dude, we really could do a follow-up, because I still get a text message, or we still get a message on like Instagram or something from somebody, probably once every couple weeks still, of somebody pointing out something insane that Rivers is currently doing.
They've done so much dumb shit since we made that episode. They really have turned into a meme band. It's his marketing plan. He only knows how to do something dumb to generate a headline.
It's gotten worse.
We've used
honestly.
this analogy a lot, but it is Trumpian. I guess we just stop calling people the Donald Trump of something and start using the word Trumpian, because it's that approach to having a career. There's no such thing as bad press. I'm going to do the dumbest, most obnoxious thing because I know everyone is going to talk about it, and enough of those people are going to ironically adopt it.
What was the fucking one that he just did recently that was pretty much exactly what you just said? And it was something like
He had a mustache. That's all I
him in the
remember.
backyard of his house doing something. It's just so obvious, just idiotic attention grabbing thing of like, exactly. It's how you would expect TikTokers to act, not the singer of Weezer.
This comment is awesome. This person said, their version of Africa adds nothing to the original. It's lame. Dude, what could you possibly add? I mean, I'm not trying to defend Weezer right now, but what could you possibly add to that song? That song is that song, and it's as that song as any song is ever going to be.
Yeah.
There's no one's ever going to cover Africa and do it in a more Africa way than Africa.
Yeah, you can't out Africa.
No.
It's like already for a pop song, a complex song. There's already shit going on in there.
No modern band could possibly do it. It's conceivable that Journey could have covered Africa and added something to it.
Because maybe it would have been like different or something, I guess.
Well, Steve Perry would have been singing on it, so that would have been pretty phenomenal,
Yeah. It was funny until you idiots said Limp Bizkit was better than Rage, because I'm on Rage Against the Machine.
How were they not?
It was better in every way, dude. Capitalism sucks. Buy our t-shirt. Exactly.
Buy our t-shirt.
Smart idea to get listeners. We already have a bunch of listeners, man.
Man, people really like the Weezer episode. A bunch of people were saying it's the best episode we've ever done. I don't know if I could get that mad every episode that we do, though. I don't think I would enjoy making this podcast if I had to get that mad every time.
Yeah, you were definitely pissed. I remember actually...
Well, it's because I'd never listened to Pinkerton before.
Actually, legitimately, there was a moment in there, probably like 3/4 through, you're like really going hard in the paint. And my head was pounding so hard that I was like, I actually remember thinking, oh my God, is he almost done? I am dying. Like I was dying. I was so fucked up. I almost felt like I was going cross-eyed. I mean, it was probably one of the worst migraines I don't even know why I had such a bad headache, but it was bad.
Maybe that's why people like that episode is it's not what I was bringing to the table. They just like hearing you suffer.
Yeah, because they could just tell that I was there like,
I would not want to listen to me scream about Weezer if I had a headache. I can tell you that.
It was good. I do think we could do like a follow-up Weezer.
Okay, so did you do Radiohead or did we skip Radiohead?
We skipped it.
All right, let's just skip Radiohead.
I mean, Radiohead comments are going to be the same as Pink Floyd comments.
You're exactly right.
If we were to print them out and I was to shuffle them up,
You're right.
You would not know what the fuck.
You don't know anything about music. Oh yeah, what do you like? Beyonce.
I think it's like the Pink Floyd effect. They get a huge budget to go sit in a studio somewhere and be mediocre. So many people that are built in as fans. It's kind of like the Nine Inch Nails effect, because I remember when the Social Network came out and Trent Reznor had done the soundtrack, and I think he won the Grammy or whatever, won like an award for it. No, he did. I don't remember if it was a Grammy or if it was the Oscar or whatever it was for it. And there was an interview where he said that he literally would walk in the studio and just push a key on the keyboard, and Optimus Prime or whatever, the other guy, whatever, just be like, oh my God, it was so good. And they would send that to the director and they're like, oh my God, it's genius. And I was just thinking to myself, the only reason why people think it's cool is because it's Trent Reznor. If it wasn't Trent Reznor, they'd be going, it's a little too simple, because it's literally 3 notes on a keyboard.
They wouldn't have even listened to it in the first place.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It just kills me.
I mean, anyone can do that. Quite literally, anyone can do that. And the argument is, yeah, but he's the one who did do it, and he did it that way. But if he wasn't the one who did that, you never would have even pressed play on it. 100%. And if you press play on that actual recording without it being attached to your idea of Trent Reznor, you would just think it was a total waste of your time, because it is. William Basinski's Disintegration Loops is so much more interesting of a concept and more pleasant to listen to than that, because it's the opposite. It's someone taking a very simple piece of music and letting it deteriorate in real time. So you hear it falling apart.
I 1000% believe if it wasn't Trent Reznor, people would go, this is dumb. And it's just like that with Radiohead. It's the same. Every time when I say I don't like Radiohead and they're like, they feel the need to explain something to me of how something was recorded.
You're just dumb.
Yeah.
I'm normally not this guy who says get rid of all your effects pedals or everything, but I think Radiohead is an example of the kind of band who should have to pay royalties to the companies who make Chaos pads and their effects pedals and everything. And the reason why I think that is because if that band went into a studio and had to make an acoustic album, it would be the worst trash you ever heard in your life.
Mm-hmm.
No one is going to put up with Tom York's fucking voice unless he's got 30 layers of electronic sounds around it.
Maybe I would respect it more if they actually built all of this shit themselves from the ground up. If they were like, no, we didn't buy anything. We literally learned how to become electrical engineers and made everything ourselves. It might be like, I mean, actually, that's kind of cool, but that's not what they do. There's a company out there making this shit, and they deserve either the Nobel Peace Prize or to be, eradicated also.
One of the things that I don't think I even talked about this in the Radiohead episode, but one of the things that makes me so mad about that band is it's very similar to what we said about Pink Floyd and the Beatles working in Abbey Road, having all these resources, is the budget that those guys have to work with. Greenwood has this instrument. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, because I've never even heard someone say these words out loud because of how rare and expensive of an instrument this is. But I think it's called an Ondes Martenot, like ONDES-MARTENOT is how it's spelled. And this instrument looks cool as fuck, but I have never even been in a room with one, let alone gotten to touch one. And this guy just gets to dick around with one. So yeah, I mean, you only hear that sound on Radiohead albums because he's the only one you assholes have given enough money to be able to afford one.
Right.
It's like saying that someone who gets to own a Lamborghini is automatically the best driver in the world just because their car goes faster.
Right.
No, dude, their parents were rich. They inherited wealth. They get to benefit from all this shit that other people don't get to benefit from.
Yeah, that's not really how that works. It's so, what a goofy, stupid idea. And it's everywhere in our really thoughtful comments.
I can't tell you how long I lusted after that. Like when I saw a video of him playing this thing, I was like, fuck, that instrument looks really cool. Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, it's got a keyboard and then a little ring on a string that you move like this. I mean, you can do it with electronic instruments now, but this is a super cool, analog purist sort of take on this thing. And he's the only person I've ever even seen video of playing one.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that guy? He makes, I guess you would call it industrial metal, I guess. But he actually physically makes all of his instruments.
That's
like
cool.
he makes these like controllers and shit that make noises. I don't know. I kind of guess you gotta kind of respect that. Let's maybe they want. Let's find that instrument, dude.
It probably cost $20,000, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. Well, our budget for our album will definitely buy probably 5 of them. Because our album, when it comes out, will probably be the best album anyone's ever heard. And if they don't like it, it's obvious because they have terrible music taste.
This is a good point on the U2 episode. None of these comments are good except this one. Google U2 Negative Land. People should do that. That's something I forgot to bring up in the episode. It's this whole long drawn out lawsuit thing between U2 and a band that they should never have even cared about, let alone tried to sue and all this dumb shit. Definitely go check that out if you need even more of a reason to hate Bono and U2. Are you going to Slipknot?
Yeah. I thought Corey Taylor was cool when I was 15, but the problem is I'm 30 and he's still 15.
True.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, Corey Taylor's not cool, I don't think.
Well, I don't know if you heard the new. I heard one of the new songs, and it sounds like
Stone Sour or Slipknot.
It's his own thing now because he can't hold it together with any of his bandmates. I guess I don't know, but it's not. It's weird. It sounds like honest to God. I messaged some people that I know, and I was like, "What Warped Tour band wrote this song?" I mean, it's a pop song with gang vocals, but then this parts where it wants to be like hillbilly rocker. I don't even know how to describe it. It's
What's that, Tiger Army song?
I guess. I don't even know how to describe it. What? This is the problem with YouTube comments. There's so many just dumb ones. I don't even know how to interpret some of these things. Like there's long comments, but I can't actually read them because it's like so all over the place.
On the Gorillaz Sucks video, someone's comment is, "I like band, but you right."
Yeah, I like band, but you right.
I've been listening to the Gorillaz since I was 3, and I'm 15 now. All right, first of all, I don't even know how this comment ends because I just wanted to read it after that first sentence, but stop listening to this show. Tell your parents you're listening to this show, get yourself in trouble, and tell them to make you stop listening to this show. You're not old enough to listen to this show, okay?
Oh man, I gotta go to Oasis. Woo-wee. Oh God, dude! If we have one more person say do a David Allen Coe sucks, it's the dumbest.
It's a very entry level comment.
I mean, what goes through their head? Oh, I'm gonna get him. Oh yeah, you're dead,
Yeah.
David Allen Coe. Oh, you can't even comment on that one, can you, man? Oasis sucks, huh? Yeah, well, what about this?
What the fuck? All right, the top voted comment
Jesus.
on the Rush Sucks episode, which I am upset by. The idea for this channel is brilliant. Someone should steal it and execute it properly. I'm assuming that Rush is this person's favorite band, so that is pretty informative. This person thinks that we secretly are Rush fans. You guys probably listen to these bands in secretly. No, I don't listen to Rush, as a matter of fact.
This is actually really funny. This person's comment says, Wonderwall's Gallagher's blistering defense of communism and their wish to rebuild the Berlin Wall. Oasis loved the Soviet Union. It's true.
Can you imagine reading that much into Wonderwall?
I know that. That's insane. Whatever.
Wonderwall is definitely not about the Soviet Union. All right, just in case anyone actually does think that, it's not.
We could do, this is actually a great idea for a sub episode idea or a shorts, is we just pick a song because there's so many of these songs that are not about anything what people think they're about.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if that is true that Wonderwall really is about that, it would be hilarious to do a 10-minute episode or 15-minute episode where all we did was ruin the song because people put so much of their own, meaning into the song. It would be hilarious to be like, oh, well, this song that you love so much, it's actually about this. Nirvana,
every Nirvana song,
literally gibberish lyrics made up in a, in the studio as he's writing them. But people, ascribe so much meaning to those things that obviously wasn't there when it was written.
Someone called us brain dead morons on the Rush episode. It's rude.
Says the Rush fan.
Okay, this is going to be a good comment. I can tell just from how it starts. This is indeed my favorite band. Favorite is spelled with a U, so this is a Canadian person. I was willing to hear what you had to say until you compared a rock drummer to a jazz drummer. Obviously, the jazz player is going to be better. Why? Why? Is it because rock music isn't good? Is that why?
Yeah, because it's
because rock is a shitty genre of music. Is that why?
I love that. You don't know. It's because they're not the proper drummer. If they're this style drummer, dude, only then.
Someone, I'm not going to read the rest of the first comment, but someone replied to that first comment and to that person, and they said, there had been small times where Neil Peart does jazz drumming. And then the person who left the first comment saying, of course, jazz is going to be better, says, LOL, I know that, ergo favorite band. But Neil Peart is without a doubt a rock drummer.
Oh boy.
What's going on in this person's mind?
I don't know. I don't even want to read the Kiss comments because you know what I'm starting to realize is if you look at the ratio of likes to dislikes, a lot of that affects the positive or negative comments.
Someone on the Rush episode, this is someone who agrees with us, but they really dropped the ball here. Their comment is proof positive that peerless musicianship doesn't guarantee quality music. And man, peerless was right there. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just say it.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but according to Cass, the Smashing Pumpkins have the best drummer in the world. So dunked on you, Tyler. How do you even come back from that one?
Jimmy Chamberlain is not even the best rock drummer. So still on the Rush video, I can't tell if this is highly sarcastic and comedic or you two are actually just jazz snobs that don't understand music that isn't jazz. First of all, there is no such thing. Did we lose that camera? Are we about to?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we can wrap this up. There is no such thing as a jazz snob that doesn't understand music that isn't jazz. The entire foundation and purpose of jazz is taking every other genre of music and placing it into a blender. It's not possible to even appreciate jazz without understanding all other genres of music.
I feel like if we did a jazz...
That being said, jazz is fucking terrible.
Yeah, I feel like if we did a Jazz Sucks episode, it would be like a 3-minute episode.
Making a bunch of fart sounds.
And literally just saying jazz sucks and making weird noises and scatting maybe a little bit. And then this is the end of the episode. My wife really hates scatting.
What's her problem?
I don't know. She hates scatting.
That song or scatting?
She talked about like Counting Crows or something like that. And she was like,
Counting Crows definitely does some scatting.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. What a weird thing. You know who scats a lot? Is Jonathan Davis in Korn. He scats a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Scary times.
No. The 90s were weird.
It's really that's one of the cool things about mainstream music is the pendulum swinging. So like from Korn and this whole damage is what we're selling thing into just the ridiculous optimism of, I guess it was that Strokes garage rock revival, Hives era is what happened next. So we go from like everything's too serious to everything's too dumb, back to everything's too serious. It always finds a way to go in the extreme opposite direction because pop culture has no integrity. And that is the entire point of this podcast.
And then eventually rock just dies and nobody fucking makes rock music anymore at all.
Yeah.
Because they just rode that pendulum too many times.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know where they're at now. Now it's just sports. Like, oh, we're a rock band. We got to do cover songs and sports anthems. Hence why nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. Although the Jock Jams period of music was pretty solid. Those Jock Jams compilations. I don't know when the last time you threw one of those on was.
I need to do that on the way home. Jock Jams.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about Jock Jams.
For just if the only song you listen to is Whoop There It Is, holds up Go check that one out. Tag Team is back again.
Tag Team back again. Check it or wreck it. Let's begin. Dude, it's like I'm 41 years old. That shit's like drilled into my brain somewhere.
That's good music right there.
That is. I agree. We'll never do an episode on Jock Jam. If you want to answer that's your question, who wouldn't we do an episode on, or what wouldn't we do an episode on? Jock Jam.
One of the best soundtracks of all time is the Space Jam soundtrack. Holds up. Go listen to it if you don't believe me. Go check that shit out.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, if this is your favorite podcast sucks. And try to leave better YouTube comments. I mean,
that's the challenge.
We've recorded for a long time tonight, and we're probably going to edit this down to about a 20-minute episode because of how bad your YouTube comments are. So do better.
Yeah.
Be funny. Try.
Man, if we got to edit this down to just the best YouTube comments, this may only be a 3-minute video.
It's not very good. Yeah, y'all let us down.
I don't even think I barely laughed. I didn't get my feelings hurt, that's for sure.
They're also lazy.
Be better, YouTube. Be better.
Be best.
Vote.
Yeah, please.
How do you, so this is the tricky part. Normally, like in our podcast, if it's just the audio, because nobody listens to our podcast.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna edit some earlier funny moment in at the end.
At the end to make it
like
at least it ends on a funny note.
For sure.
All right, well, that's cool. Well, hopefully now you're laughing.
You're welcome for listening to Your Favorite Band Sucks. As you heard or saw if you're watching on YouTube, we recorded this episode a long time ago during the break after releasing the Aerosmith trilogy. When we decided to start recording all the episodes on video as well, we figured it only made sense to begin with an episode pandering to YouTube. But then the comments were so terrible, we just never put it out. When we finally listened back to it, Mark and I were able to actually make it funny or interesting in some places, so while it did take cutting about 50% of what we recorded, here's the episode. For obvious reasons, I've barely paid attention to our YouTube comments since recording this. Maybe they've gotten better in the month since we started putting out actual videos, but I assume fucking not, and I'm sure the comments on this one will be extra special. However many people post something about how bad of an idea it is to insult our fans, make sure to let them know we're responding to jackoffs like them who comment without actually listening to or understanding the show. Then tell them how many of our t-shirts you've bought, because that seems like something that would piss them off even more. As far as this recent break, all I really feel like saying about it is that it wasn't planned, and I'm not certain we'll be able to get back on our regular release schedule right away, but if we do, it'll probably be with an episode on a band like Coldplay.